Hi everyone, I'm Barry Stagner and this is his channel Newsbreak. Ali Shamkhani, Secretary of Iran's Supreme National Security Council, said that signing the 2015 nuclear accord was a mistake from his country's viewpoint. Shamkhani, a military advisor to Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, rarely speaks to Western media. Yet, in an NBC News interview on Monday, he accused the U.S. of being the aggressor in the region. The Trump administration's maximum pressure campaign would never bring Iran to the negotiating table, he said. Should the U.S. and Iran become engaged in an open military conflict, the Iranian official warned Iran has multiple instruments at hand, including the proxy war. Both the U.S. and its regional allies would be in a terrible situation, he added. Shamkhani also denied that he had a military wish for Israel's destruction, saying the Palestinian people will decide Israel's fate. Hundreds of people continue to be exposed to the Ebola virus in the Democratic Republic of Congo, raising fears of the disease spreading to neighboring countries and the wider region. The World Health Organization, in the DRC has reported 70 to 80 cases a week. Overall, 2,758 cases and 1,819 deaths have been recorded since August of 2018, when the pandemic broke out in the country's northern provinces of North Kivu and Ituri. The current rate of transmission can be described as intense, according to Dr. Margaret Harris, spokesperson for the World Health Organization response team in the DRC, telling the Epoch Times. Harris said the risk of transmission in the country and the region is high, although she downplayed the risk to the rest of the world. Recently, a man died in Goma, an area close to the Rwandan border, after being infected a week earlier. It's feared that his wife and child could also have been exposed to the virus. Rwanda has since set up a screening checkpoint on its border with the DRC. The current outbreak in the DRC, the second largest in history after the outbreak in West Africa that killed thousands a few years ago, was declared an international public health emergency by the World Health Organization in July. The biggest challenge to the response are fear and panic, people hiding their symptoms because they are afraid of the perceived consequences of having Ebola, said Harris. The pandemic has brought panic to the region, and some neighboring countries have set up screening checkpoints at their borders, as we mentioned earlier about Rwanda. In early August, the Mozambican government announced the setting up of screening points on its borders with Malawi, citing a suspected but unconfirmed case of Ebola in Malawi. Dozens of Turkish bar associations are threatening to boycott President Recep Tayyip Erdogan's planned ceremony to open the judicial year at the presidential palace, saying it would be another violation of the judiciary's independence. The boycott protest would be a first by law associations against Erdogan, who has faced increasing criticism from Turkey's Western allies and rights activists over media freedoms and interference in the courts. The EU says Turkey's judicial independence and the principle of separation of powers have been eroded since 2014, and the judges and prosecutors have come under increasing political pressure by Erdogan and his followers. Well, we know that there will be an increase of plague-like diseases in the last days, and the Ebola outbreak gives us our reminder to keep looking up.